when I was in Japan. It was for WWE, but it was still Japan. And this is one of my biggest memories ever. Remember that Survivor Series match when I lost like in 12 seconds when Shawn Michaels kicked me in the mouth and you couldn't remember who I was?
Yeah, we were there for that, actually. That? We were there.
Yeah. That really pissed me off. Really pissed me off because like he was one of my heroes, Shawn Michaels. Like I wanted to work like him when I was growing up. I wanted to bump like him. I wanted to move and like, I wanted to be cool like that guy. And, I thought I'd made it and he didn't remember who I was or whatever. So I was like, okay, motherfucker. We'll see. I'm going to run into you again. I'm sure I will. So we're in Japan or whatever. And all of a sudden I look at the sheet and it was me and Kane against Rey Mysterio and Shawn Michaels. And we could walk in the back, and here he is. And he sees he sees who it is. And he's like, oh, you better lace him up tight tonight. And I was like, no, motherfucker, you better lace him up tight because you're going to remember who the shit I am after this. I'm going to knock the crap out of you. And he's like, whoa. We ended up hashing it out and we went out and had a match and it was freaking awesome. It was everything I thought that the Survivor Series was going to be. I took the whole comeback and you know what I mean? And like he gave up a little bit for me. So I got to put a little heat on him and it meant so much to me just doing that little thing. And it was just a house show. And then on the indies, my favorite match was against my old tag team partner. His name was Derek Nykirk. I talked about him briefly. We did a match. I want to say I just saw like an Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit match where they went 2 out of 3 falls, like no disqualification, no counting out. And then like finally they finished the match or whatever. So me and Nykirk, we came up with this plan. We had a match in like Globe, Arizona, like for a casino or something. And we didn't tell them like really, hey, we want to do like an hour. And we want to kind of do like a little bit of a hardcore match and like make it cool. And like my trainer's like, no, man, that ain't cool. Like, this is our first show here. He's like, let's not get too crazy. Like, it's kind of for the kids and whatever. So we were like, screw it. We're doing it anyways. Screw it, bro. So we went out there and we wrestled over an hour. We did, we had a few people like in it. Like we did the big match or whatever. I think I was the champion at the time and I kicked him in the balls or whatever and tried to get disqualified. And then the commissioner came out. We smartened the commissioner up. He's like, no way, this isn't going to end like that. We're restarting this, no disqualifications. So we wrestled like 35 more minutes. And then all of a sudden, something happened and I left the building and then they drug me back out. And this whole time, like once we got to about 45, 50 minutes in, it was freezing cold. We were both bleeding all over the place. I remember when I was getting my color or whatever, I was underneath this ladder and this flipping kid just kicked through the rail as I was getting a little bit of color, and I ended up just gashing myself. And I was bleeding like a sieve for a minute, but it was only like 40 degrees, so it instantly like just froze all over our faces, and we were chopping the crap out of each other, and it was freezing. Like I'm surprised one of us didn't lose a nipple. Man, with when it comes to that kind of stuff, bro, like that's what I remember. These crazy little things that hardly nobody ever saw. Yeah, man, it was great.
And
what a freaking great time.
Sometimes those are the best, the absolute best times are the ones that nobody sees. And I'm glad you mentioned that Survivor Series incident, because I was going to bring that up right as we finished, because that was something that I remember. That match, it had a good spot on the card. The crowd in Philly was insane. That match was absolutely stacked, and it was a great showcase. And then when I got to see the television side of it and you heard that line, it was like, Jesus Christ. Talk about letting the sails out of a balloon. That was terrible.
Brother, talking about losing my smile. Thanks a lot, Shawn. Oh, bro. And I was sitting there, I was like, okay, whatever. He didn't remember. I'll show him. This is going to be cool. Like, I'm going to get in there. Like, I'm going to get to show the whole world what I can do. Because I was just doing ECW at that time. Nobody'd seen me, really. So, like, I went in there. And then you remember the guy from the Elimination Chamber that came in and said, hey, we all know he's going to lose. Just let him get a couple things in and then, have him lose. Who cares? Yeah, same guy. This is the first time he did it to me. He's like, hey, everybody knows you're not going to win this thing. He's like, now, do you want to just stay in this match for like 3 or 4 minutes and completely be forgotten, or do you want to make a moment? And I was like, I want to make a moment. And they're like, okay, we're going to have Shawn beat you in about 1 second. I was like, oh, you mean like one exact moment. Stay in the ring for 1 moment. Oh, brother, I was so flipping mad about that. Like, just the wind out of the sails, man. And, I'd get home and everybody, like, you tell your mom, you tell your dad, like, guys, I'm on the freaking big pay-per-view with the big guys. Like, it's going to be awesome. Tell everybody to watch. Like, and then you go out there and you just get shit on your face. Like, oh man. So, I was kind of embarrassed, and it was like, whatever, man. But how many people can say that they had a moment like that with Shawn Michaels? You know what I mean? It was, I look back, it was okay. And when I got the check for the pay-per-view, I completely forgot how embarrassed I was. I was like, oh, Jesus, this is what you guys make all the time? Oh my goodness.
Oh, man, that's great.